that time. It's time for the Cummins Real Estate Group show with Michele Cummins and myself, Curtis Pope. Good morning, Michele.
Good morning, Curtis. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday to you. You keeping warm through this nasty cold spell?
Well, when I'm inside, I'm keeping warm. But boy, does the wind it rattles and shakes the house, and my house whistles, and it's pretty scary.
I got a window or two that whistles in my house too. Yet I don't seem to have a big draft coming through these windows. I guess that's why they whistle. I guess there's just a little bit of air coming through it. And
the trees right outside of my window, it could be pretty scary, but nothing's broken, nothing's fallen down. But with the wind chill factor, it's been like -8, -10, so it's been quite cold.
That's pretty cold for a California girl.
Yeah, tell me about it. I was just talking to somebody yesterday, and they're in Alberta, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so freezing here. I've never had it so cold in the middle of the day here, and they're like I think what they say, -18, and they thought it was nicer than usual or something. I don't know, it's just so cold. I think it's so cold, -8, -10, and they were in so much colder. So I'm very happy that I'm here and not where it could be colder.
Oh yeah, I've felt -40 when I was living up north. It's not fun. Actually, after -20, it all feels the same. You're just cold.
Yeah, you're just frozen to like the bone.
You're just cold a little quicker. That's all. It gets very, very cold. But you know what? What isn't cooling down, I guess, is the real estate market at all.
No, it is not, and it is still hot, even though the weather's cold. And you know what? We're gonna talk about. I thought it would be very timely to talk about the 5 hot market real estate tips for over asking price offers, because we are still seeing overpriced offers. So wanted to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about some information about immigration, and especially and specifically from Hong Kong. So there's been some articles, and there's some, anyways, we're going to talk about it a little later on. But first, I got to tell you, I had Disney movie being filmed at my neighbor's 150-acre estate. And the other morning, I wake up, and there's all these crew cars parked throughout our driveway, along our driveway and the Dyke Road. And lo and behold, they're filming a Disney movie.
And they didn't even ask you to be part of it?
Can you believe it?
Do they not know who you are?
Apparently they don't.
I mean, there must be a part for you somewhere. I mean, how about that? A chance to actually, work in acting like you've done in the past and still do your job, because you'd be right by your home office.
I know. How convenient is that?
Be like, I don't need a dressing room. When you need me, I'll be over here. Just come knock on the door.
I have my property on the film commission list for places to film, and I almost had, I think it was a Hallmark movie with Jewel in it, and I love Jewel. I mean, I love her. So, and, she's a musician and an actor. So I was really excited about that, but it didn't happen. But that was probably the last close call we had filming here. But our place has been used in an episode of The Killing.
Okay.
I've never really watched that TV series, but supposedly, I got screen caps, so that's neat. But can you believe Valentine's is tomorrow? It
just kind of snuck up on us, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. I hope you have something planned for Kelly.
For who?
Yeah, your wife.
Oh, right, her. I forgot. Sorry.
Oh, my gosh.
Sure, I have plans.
There's Lenka jewelry. There's some really delicious chocolates. Steve Candies is the best, but, you'd have to order that online.
I'll have to give that some thought. I got like a day. I can figure this out. There's plenty of time.
Well, you're going to obviously make her breakfast in bed, as you do.
I do that every Sunday.
See, this will be a special one.
In fact, I think that for her, she just expects it now.
I've got to say, I got my kitty cat outside. I had to shut my door because I was thinking of your cat and how adorable he is. Lucifer, that is it, specific one. I know you have a few, but and Kelly loves cats. Hey, maybe you can get her another one.
No, 3 is enough. And I'll tell you about Lucifer the other day when this cold snap, he wanted to go outside when I was driving Kelly to work. And I got home like 10 minutes later, and he gave me a look. He was not happy that I left him outside.
Oh, in the cold?
Yeah, I'm like, it was your choice.
I wouldn't be happy either.
I mean, if a cat could look at you and call you a jerk as they walked by, he did that.
They have this look in their eyes. Does he do like a certain meow?
Oh, yeah.
So he talks to you.
Yeah, he's quite vocal, actually.
Cool.
The other cat's not so much, but he's very talkative.
Ours is too. There's something about that mixed with the personality, I got to tell you.
It could be.
So remember last week we talked, and we talk every week, but I mean specifically our show last week, and I was like, what should I do this year for a gift, for some flair, to hand out?
Right.
And you mentioned a great idea about an engraved bottle opener and maybe mixed with a wine opener. And I was going to post it and ask everyone their opinion, and I failed to do so. So I'm going to try to do that today. Because talking with you again 7 days later or whatnot, it made me think of that. And I really want everyone's opinion. So I'm going to do that. So just wanted to bring that around.
That sounds like a good idea. So people want to keep an eye on your social media is what you're saying.
Please, yes. Post it if I forget. Please just
remind you.
Post me a message. So I don't know how much time we have left in this segment because I haven't been paying attention.
Well, now you're making me do math. The little hand goes there and the big hand's pointing to. We've got about 5.5 minutes.
Oh, my gosh. So almost a minute for each tip I have.
There we go.
There we go. So the 5 hot market real estate tips for over asking price offers. Real estate tip number 1 I have for everyone is, we're still in the multiple offers and prices are going 100,000 plus over asking. That's typical. Something to keep in mind if you're a buyer is that you want to be pre-approved, obviously, for a certain amount. Okay, you're pre-approved, but you want, so you know what you're going for. And let's say it's higher than the asking price. Nobody really knows what market value is nowadays because market value is really whatever a buyer is willing to pay. And right now, nobody, not even the professional realtor, can tell you exactly what your home is going to sell for and what you're going to have to pay for a home. It is a very tough market out there. So be prepared to put your best foot forward, but remember that the property, if you're putting in a subject pre-offer, it may not get appraised at the purchase price you're paying. And so, therefore, your bank may and most likely will require you to come up with the extra funds. So just be prepared. If you're only putting 5% down and that's all you have to put down, be very cautious that it appraises to the amount that you're offering. Maybe have your realtor put in something in there that says, this is conditional to the purchase price being at or below the appraised value if the bank requires an appraisal. That is a little first tip I have. Real estate tip number 2, if you will need to sell within the next 3 or 4 years and you want to be careful about how much over asking or let's say what market value is that you offer is typically we see 10 to 12% correction in prices after a big hike in the market like we're seeing right now. So typically the level, it levels out for about 4 to 10 years after a hike. So just be cautious. 10 to 12%, as it goes up so fast and so much, isn't too much. It usually always stays above what the prices were before the market hike. But just be cautious of that, okay, if you think you're going to have to sell in the next 2, 3, or possibly 4 years. It's real estate tip number 3. If you're thinking of selling in this market and you're on a septic and or well, think about getting a water well test and have your septic serviced before listing so you can give records to your buyers so they can make a strong offer without having to worry about putting a subject pre-offer in without knowing the state of the septic or the well. Because you know what? You will get a better, stronger price from them if they already know water is potable, it's really good for drinking, it's fine, and the septic is in good shape. So be aware, though, that checking the septic, having it serviced can take 4 to 6 weeks right now because they're overworked and it takes that long to get somebody in to do it. And the water well test takes about 5 days by the time that you get it in to have it tested. So those are the time frames for that. So real estate tip number 4, sellers, please have all the paperwork ready to give to your buyers over and above the property disclosure statement. Be sure your agent requests from the Fraser Health the location of your septic and well, because it only costs $50. And if they have it on file, you can get this. And so you can give it to your buyers if you're on well and septic, of course. This shows the location of them, okay? So that was really helpful. Now you can also do a pre-inspection of your property. It's a hefty cost of around $500. But again, it makes it so that your buyer can go in with the subject-free offer with a strong price, stronger than there is in doing it right now. So that's my tip for you. And you know what? You can actually give a lot of information to the buyer. You want the floor plan. If you can do a floor plan, please do a floor plan. And then other items that you or your agent can supply to your seller is in your selling package for potential buyers is site surveys, zoning information, building permits that are on record, the title, of course, but the title and all the encumbrances that are on there, if there are any. Not all realtors provide all this information, so be sure to ask your realtor what they can provide potential buyers, and you can help them make it more efficient and just work with them and make sure that you have all the information to give the buyers that you can, because more information is better, and then you get a confident buyer. And the fifth tip for buyers specifically, don't get emotionally attached. Listen to your agent's advice and trust them. Don't drive yourself crazy trying to navigate this market on your own. Hire a professional who is in the trenches for you all day and every day. Until we find you the right place, that is what we do. Remember to give it your best when it is time to put in that offer, and don't be shy. Don't mess around. Put your best foot forward, okay? And if you don't get it, dust yourself off and try again. Stay the course. Believe that your house is just around the corner, and don't lose sight. That's my fifth and final tip.
Excellent. Now, if people want more information about these tips or have other questions for you, where can they go?
MichelleCummins.ca.
We'll be back with more right after this. With segment number 2 of the Cummins Real Estate Group show with Michele Cummins and me, Curtis Pope. Now, Michele, I have a question for you since you're my realtor. I got my speculation vacancy paperwork from the government the other day, and I'm going, but I don't live there anymore. Do I still have to fill it out, or do I have to do something?
Yes, you do, because you did live there last year, and you were the one on title. So be sure you just pop on that website. It literally takes maybe 3 minutes. And say that, yes, you live there. So definitely do it. I had a few myself, and I just popped on there and did it. It doesn't take very long. But don't forget, because if you forget, that's not good. I'm just saying. No,
because you could have to pay some pretty heavy taxes that you won't necessarily get back for a couple of years.
Exactly. It does take them quite a long time to get that back, and they will charge you. So it doesn't matter if you miss the deadline, you miss it. And so just go on there and just claim it.
Yeah, good idea. Good call. I know that I think the first year they did it, they were really good about it, where I did mine, but we hadn't got my wife's yet or something. And we actually got a reminder, hey, maybe you should do the one for your wife. And they sent us another one like, here's the paperwork, do it.
Yeah, that is nice. I don't know if they do that anymore, do they?
No, I think that was the first year. They were really good the first year about going, hey, you haven't done this yet. Hey, you want to do this? Come on, please do this. We don't want to charge you money if we don't have to.
Yes, and it's rough. And you bring a good point up, Curtis, because you moved. But what if you hadn't done your forwarding your address? What if the people who moved into your house aren't moved in your old house, right? What if you missed that paperwork? Well, you would miss it. And sometimes we got busy lives. Sometimes you miss things if you don't get reminders. So, good reminder is make sure you forward all your addresses. And one of the biggest important ones is with, the government of Canada.
Well, I have a really good real estate agent, and she had her assistant send me this whole list of things I needed to do, and forwarding address was on that list.
Oh, your real estate agent is so awesome.
But now I guess that brings us probably along the line to our next part of this, because there's been some changes to immigration, you were saying.
Yes, so it is quite interesting. So from the Canadian Health Wealth magazine, so the pathway from Hong Kong to Canada is now open. So that's the highlight, and this just came out. So I'm just going to kind of read verbatim because it's quite interesting information. There are roughly 300,000 Hong Kong residents who still hold Canadian passports, but as their once vibrant city, begins by an increasingly hostile it's just what's happening in mainland China. It forces them to relinquish citizenship to either nation. Canada has cleared the path for their return. Last week, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, which is IRCC, announced a work permit valid for a 3-year term for Hong Kong residents who obtained post-secondary diplomas in Canada within the last 5 years. Additionally, the IRCC will ease entry restrictions with the eventual goal of permanent residency for Hong Kong residents who have at least a year's worth of work experience in Canada or who satisfy language and education criteria. So the launch of the Hong Kong immigration pathway is a historic initiative that will attract young, talented, and experienced graduates who will help to drive Canada's economy forward. So that's a good thing. And that's a statement from IRCC Minister Marco Mendicino. So this is all that's happening. So with flexible open work permits and a fast track to permanent residency, skilled Hong Kong residents will have a unique opportunity to develop their careers and help accelerate Canada's economic recovery. So that's also a statement from IRCC. And furthermore, this is a landmark immigration initiative that will strengthen our economy and will deepen the ties between Canada and the people of Hong Kong. So there is some changes happening. So Canada welcomed 321,120 immigrants to the country in 2019, a 116-year high dating back to the year such statistics were recorded. But in 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic put a spanner in the works. In November, the IRCC pledged to welcome roughly 1.2 million immigrants, 60% of whom would be economic class, between 2021 and 2023. The second wave of COVID-19 infections in Canada might make achieving that target difficult, but the country is trying. So that's the information that the article goes further. So, go on Google, find it. It's Canadian Real Estate Magazine.ca is the site that I got that article from, and it was just released a couple days ago. So
okay, so now what do you think that means for the Lower Mainland if we have 300,000 Canadians with Canadian passports in Hong Kong? How many of them do you figure are probably coming back to BC?
A lot. They've been trying, and there's been a slow immigration, of course, in this past year. But I do foresee that as soon as, they're allowed in, and they are allowed in, but, as COVID relaxes a bit, maybe hopefully by summer or a little after, we'll probably see an influx of sales again due to immigration growth again as it goes back to what we were used to.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I know that we definitely have had a lot of fine folks from Hong Kong move to the Lower Mainland and pick up properties and put their kids through school here and things like that, and put a lot of money into our economy over the years. Exactly.
Yes, and so it's going to be very interesting. This moment where we live today is just. It's crazy. It's very interesting, but it's a day-to-day thing that you got to keep your finger on the pulse because you just got to be prepared for what may be around the corner. And then, you're making an educated progress in your life and for your loved ones and your family and everyone. So, yeah, it's being positive through all of this, realizing what may come of it. And I know the real estate market is real hot, and some people say or worry that there might be, a crash or, what is going to happen. The prices are so high, but, only time will tell, of course. But we can kind of look at what's happening now and take, learn from the past and see, we can kind of look in the future a little bit that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say that just from what we have learned from the past, and considering that since I was in high school consumer education class where the bottom was going to drop out at any moment in real estate, and it never has, I think that we're not going to see a huge crash.
And furthermore, BC is the number one area in all of Western Canada for new construction growth. So the developments that are happening, and they say for 2021, there's going to be more development in BC than anywhere else. So that also, means more people, more residents, more homes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now speaking of, go ahead. What do you got?
No, I was going to say you're probably on the right path thinking my new listing.
That's where I was going to go. You must have a new listing.
I do. How did you know? So this one's in Maple Ridge, and it actually just went live last night. It's at 24010 100th Avenue, and that's in the Albion area. And you wonder, Maple Ridge? Well, yeah, I work from Coquitlam all the way out to Hope. That's what I do. I've got lots of clients through Coquitlam to Hope and anywhere in between. So Maple Ridge. So this one's a detached property, and oh my gosh, it's got this cool wraparound veranda, front porch. Wonderful place to just sip your coffee. It's a really neat 2-story plus basement home with an oversized garage. It's 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. The backyard is fully fenced, and it's fully decked out, literally fully decked out. It's got a hot tub and multiple decks, levels, and it's really fantastic. I have a virtual tour, cinematography walkthrough, floor plans, photos, everything is online. Just check it out. The price is $950,000, and it's on a 3,900 square foot lot. It's almost 3,900 square feet, built in 2002, and it's really gorgeous. So if you're looking in Maple Ridge and you're looking for a fantastic single-family home, check it out.
All right. Well, that sounds like a pretty nice place.
Okay, it is. Okay, so I have a Valentine's quote for everyone since, Valentine's is tomorrow. And it's all about hearts and love. So it's let all that you do be done in love. And that quote is from Paul the Apostle.
Oh, okay. Very nice. I thought for a second you were going to say Paul McCartney because it sounds like something he would say. Right.
Yes. My Valentine, his song, My Valentine. Richard redid that. And I recorded it. I was the director of that one and the cinematographer. I was like going around with the video. It was really fun.
Well, let's face it, Paul McCartney, John Lennon, possibly the greatest songwriters possibly of all time.
It is true. Won't argue that.
No, and they wrote a fair amount of great love songs from, simple little Love Me Do to then songs like you're like, wow, like Let It Be. And they wrote some amazing stuff.
What's your favorite Paul McCartney or John Lennon or Beatles song?
My favorite Beatles song is Let It Be.
Ah, that is a good one.
Yeah, that one's always been my favorite. Although I'm not going to lie, I'm a big fan of I Am the Walrus and a lot of that. I like the later Beatles stuff.
Yeah, I figured you would have. You know what my favorite one is?
What do you got?
Michelle, My Belle.
Well, I should have figured that one out.
Right?
I don't know why that one didn't just jump out at me for some reason, but yeah, that completely makes sense.
Oh.
All right, Michelle. Well, if people want more information about real estate and about what you provide as a realtor, what can they do?
MichelleCummins.ca.
And make sure you join us again next week when once again we will talk real estate in order to unlock your real estate potential on a show where real estate is maximized. Thanks for listening.